The comet. Because in the last video we talked only about asteroids and there are several celestial core in the universe, we will continue in today's video with another important celestial corp, namely the comet. The comets are chunks of ice in the outer edges of the solar system. Some grow long tails of gas and dust as they approach the sun. Comets are small celestial core of nebulous appearance that rotate around the sun. Usually, it is the sun of our solar system. The astronomical symbol for comets consists of a disk with a tail consisting of 3 lines. Many comets pass through the outer reaches of the solar system. Sometimes, however, some of them even get close to the sun, where their bright heads and long, shining tails constitute a spectacular picture. Most comets approach the sun only for a short time. As of July 2018, there were 6,339 known comets, and their number is steadily increasing as they are discovered. However, it only reaccounts for a small fraction of the total comet population, since the reserve of comet-like core in the outer solar system, in the Oort cloud, is estimated at 1 trillion. About 1 comet per year is visible to the naked eye, although many of these are faint and unspectacular. Most comets consist of 3 parts: a central, solid nucleus, a round main or head surrounding the nucleus, a long tail of gases and dust in the lengthening of the head. Nucleus. The solid part of comets consists of a small, dark nucleus made of organic compounds and frozen gas, with a temperature of -270 degrees Celsius. Organic compounds may include carbon monoxide, methanol, ethanol, hydrocyanic acid and ethane. The diameter of the nucleus at the entry of the comet into the solar system can be from 100 m to 40 kilometers. When the comet is far from the sun, the nucleus has very low temperatures, with gases remaining solid inside the nucleus. In these cases, comets are also called dirty snowballs, since more than half of their composition is ice. Near the sun, all gaseous matter is volatilized, but part of the core, protected by a layer of heat-conducting powder, remains solid. The nuclei of comets are among the darkest known objects in the solar system. The Giotto probe found that Halley's nucleus reflects 4% of the light falling on it, while asphalt reflects 7%. Coma. A huge cloud of gas forms around the core, called a coma. The coma widens as the comet approaches the sun. The sun's heat forces the ice core to melt, thus, jets of gas and dust appear, tens of thousands of kilometers long. The coma together with the nucleus constitutes the comet's head. Tail. The tails of comets can be formed from gas and dust, representing the elongation of the comet's coma in the opposite direction from the sun due to the pressure of light and solar wind, made up of charged particles. The tail can be straight or curved, single or multiple. Comets often have 2 tails, one made up of dust and the other made up of gases. The tail formed by dust becomes visible because it reflects sunlight, while the gaseous tail is visible due to the ionized gases of which it is composed. Dust particles give the halo a yellowish-white color, and ionized gases give the tail a bluish or green tint. The tail of a comet can reach impressive sizes, sometimes more than 1 astronomical unit. The length of the tail is inversely proportional to the distance between the comet and the sun. The closer the comet is to the sun, the longer its tail becomes. Types of comets. According to the way they orbit the sun, we have several types of comets. Short-period comets are comets that have more or less elliptical orbits, similar to planets or asteroids. These comets originated in the Kuiper belt and have orbital periods of less than 200 years. They are formed from the remains of matter between the orbits of Neptune and Pluto. Short-period comets are divided into the Jupiter family, comets with orbital periods less than 20 years, and the Halley family, with orbital periods between 20 and 200 years. Long-period comets have eccentric orbits, which carry them far beyond the orbit of Pluto. Orbital periods range from 200 years to thousands or even millions of years. Non-periodic comets come from the Oort cloud, pass by the sun and never return. When inside the solar system, they behave similarly to long-period comets, with the difference that they have parabolic or mildly hyperbolic trajectories. Fate of comets. The usual evolution of a comet involves the loss of gases, leaving only the rock nucleus, the comet turns into an asteroid. After 100 to 200 passes at perihelion, the comet loses gases and volatile light elements, becoming an old comet. The nucleus of comets can fragment, especially when they pass near the Sun or a planet. Thus, very small fragments of material, meteoroids, can detach from the nucleus. When decay occurs suddenly, the comet, now an asteroid, crashes into a planet or the Sun. It is also possible for a comet to be ejected out of the solar system due to interaction with another celestial corp, for example a planet, especially Jupiter. Comet names. Before the early 20th century, reference to most comets was made simply by mentioning the year in which they appeared, sometimes with additional adjectives for particularly bright comets. After astronomer Edmund Halley predicted, based on Newton's laws of motion, that the comet identified in 1531, 1607, and 1682 would return in 1758, it became known as Halley's Comet. Similarly, Comet Encke and Comet Biela were named after the astronomers who calculated their orbits. Later, periodic comets were named after their discoverers, while comets that appeared only once continued to be mentioned after years of their appearance. There is a rule to give a maximum of 3 names to a comet, if there are several discoverers of it. The increase in the number of comets discovered led in 1994 to the approval by the International Astronomical Union of a new naming system. Comets are now designated by the year of their discovery, a letter indicating the month in which they were discovered and a number given if more comets were discovered that month. A prefix is also added to indicate the nature of the comet. In popular culture, comets have long been seen, superstitiously, as bringing calamities or important events. Girolamo Cardano stated that when a comet falls near Saturn it would announce plague, drought, and betrayal. When it fell by Jupiter it would foretell revolutions, close to Mars would signify wars, close to the Sun, calamities across the globe, near the Moon, floods, near Venus, the death of nobles, close to Mercury, a large number of misfortunes. The appearance of a comet also caused fears that it could hit Earth. A collision with a core could have catastrophic effects worldwide, but the likelihood of such an event happening is very small. Comet observation. In the case of comets, visual observations are less important, while photographic observation sometimes yields spectacular results. Observing comets requires instruments that are as bright and magnifying as possible. Good field binoculars are better than a 45mm telescope that would magnify 30 times, because binoculars have a much higher luminosity. The search for comets is not complicated, but it requires a lot of perseverance and especially a clear sky. They can be found mostly in the western part of the sky 2 to 3 hours after sunset and in the eastern area 2 to 3 hours before sunrise. That was for today's video and I hope I brought you new information. Thank you for watching, for staying until the end, and you look forward to my next videos. If you like my video please give me a like, and if you like my channel please subscribe, it would help me a lot. Thanks.